Hi, I am Sujata Edanaparthi. In my speech today, I am going to talk about the international student loans in the United States. I selected this topic because my son is an international student, and when he was applying to a college in the US, we were finding ways to pay for his college fee. Like any parent, I want the best for him, a great education, a bright future, and the launchpad of a career that could make him secure and comfortable for the rest of his life. Applying to a college in the US can be confusing, especially for international students who are likely unfamiliar with how the education system works in the country, including the application process and student loans. International students can take out loans in the United States to help them pay for college. If you are not a US citizen and plan to attend a US college or university, you may be eligible for an international student loan. International student loans are specialized private education loans that are only available to international students studying in the United States. They can help pay for tuition, books, fees, insurance, and room and board at your college. Before you can apply for an international student loan, you must be accepted by a college or university. Most lenders will ask you for your student visa and proof of acceptance to a US college or university. Many will also require a cosigner. You can borrow up to the total cost of your education after you have subtracted any aid given by your school, scholarships, or grants. To get this number, contact the financial aid office at the college or university you plan to attend. Before you can get a loan, the school must certify the amount. You should first figure out how much they need for their living expenses before deciding on how much money to borrow. Having a borrowing plan with an understanding of interest rates will help you to stay responsible with your loan and avoid overspending. International students often do not know the difference between interest rates and monthly payments, which can end up being costly if not careful. When determining what amount to borrow for school, start with the published cost of attendance and make sure to calculate include living expenses. International students trying to get a loan in America face many obstacles. One is not being able to borrow enough from the bank, and another is overborrowing, leading to additional interest payments. The other issue is when the student does manage to borrow enough money, it can be difficult for them to keep track of all of their finances while abroad, as this is often the first time in their life that they are truly independent. There are many different types of expenditure that a student must take into account when taking out money for their education. One important consideration is the type of university they plan to attend, as one with more prestigious programs will be more expensive than other universities. The average cost per year at Harvard University in Boston is $64,400. Other costs can include living expenses, including housing and food, travel costs if the student is living away from school, insurance cost for any accidents on campus or while abroad, and books and supplies. It's never too early to start saving up, so you do not have to worry about how much your education might end up costing you down the line. In order to make sure that a student never regrets taking out a loan, they should pay special attention to their payment plan. This way, students know what will happen if something unexpected happens in the future and breaks their budget. How to apply for an international student loan? Check your eligibility. Not all students will be eligible for an international student's loan, so it's important to check your eligibility beforehand. This can help you avoid lenders with strict requirements you may not be able to meet. Second, collect necessary documentation. Prepare your documents beforehand. Typically, requirements include your school transcripts, letter of acceptance, and proof of ID. Third, discover the potential lenders. You can research lenders online or near your school of choice to make the repayment process easier. You will want to look for lenders who offer rates and terms that are ideal for financial situation. Fourth, proceed with the application. Once you have narrowed down your choices, fill out an application form and submit it. Fifth, get approved and receive funds. If you receive approval from your lender, take the time to read the terms and conditions. Find out your rate, loan period, and your approved borrowed amount. Some lenders will send the funds directly to your school with any leftover after tuition sent to you. When the funds have been sent, plan out how to pay your student loan debt. How to compare international student loan lenders. International students do not have the same number of lenders from which to choose as US based students do, but it still pays to check the few available options because students may not be familiar with lender terminology and the loan process. They work with their college's financial aid office for help the terms and conditions. Sometimes to compare. Some items to compare. Interest rate. It's important to check the rate and whether it's variable or fixed. Variable rates may sometimes start out lower, but they will change from year to year and not necessarily in your favor. Repayment requirements. Some lenders may require repayment of interest or a complete payment each month beginning right away while the student is still in school. Others allow borrowers to defer all payments until after graduation. Term. Lenders may allow borrowers to choose among term lengths. You should compare the monthly cost of each option to see which one is affordable, as well as consider the total cost over the life of the loan. Hardship options. Find out if the lender offers any programs such as forbearance, which allows you to pause payments if you have a temporary financial setback or become unemployed. Discounts. Some lenders may offer an interest rate discount for borrowers who enroll in automatic payments or who make a certain number of consecutive payments on time. Cosigner release. Though this is unusual for international student loans, certain lenders may offer an opportunity to release the cosigner from his or her obligation once certain conditions are met. Why is it hard for international students to get student loans? US citizens have the free application for federal student aid they can fill out to learn about their financial aid resources. International students do not have that all in one approach because they typically aren't eligible for federal assistance, which includes federal student loans. Fortunately, private student loans may be an option for international or DACS students, but there is a catch. Unlike federal loans, qualification for private student loans often hangs on you or your cosigner's credit score and income. International students who do not have a US credit history or a cosigner with a US credit history may find it more difficult to get approved. For those reasons, 73% of international students in the US rely on resources outside the US to finance their education, such as from family members, their home country's government or universities, or their own personal funds, according to the Institute of International Education. What will I pay and when? The full cost of a loan includes the amount of borrowed plus interest. Interest is the amount charged by the lender in exchange for loaning your money. Your interest rate depends on funding rates set by a national government and one your cosinus credit score. Some loan providers will expect you to begin repaying your loan immediately. Others may delay or defer payment until 6 months after you graduate. In some cases, you may need to pay only the interest on your loan while you are in school. Regular payments will not start until 45 days after graduation. Why should international students should care? International students need to realize that taking out a loan is not something they should be doing if they are not prepared for the consequences. Without a proper plan, many international students end up defaulting on their loans, which causes serious repercussions in the future and ruins any chances of them obtaining credit in the near future. Remember that when taking out a loan, it's important to have a financial plan before committing to one because while taking out student loans may sound like an easy way around paying for college, it can also come back and hunt you later down the line by destroying your credit score if you do not pay off your debts after graduation. Many international students find themselves making payments on their student loans well into adulthood. International students need to determine if taking out a loan is right for them. While studying abroad in America be worth the interest rate of a future debt. Students also have to consider their eligibility for loans because each has different terms and requirements that might not work with their personal situation. Some international students may prefer staying in their country or region instead of moving across the world, so they should consider all of these factors before borrowing any money. There are all decisions that you will have to make for yourself. Thank you.